Hello, welcome to my page. Tonight we're going to do an Easter craft. We're going to use these plastic eggs and we're going to make them into flower holders. So stay tuned, let's get started. We also have this little glass jar with a lid on it that I'm going to use as kind of a stand for holding our eggs. So this is going to be the idea. If you're watching tonight, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And also comment the keyword, which is going to be flower, and like, share, and follow the page, and I'll do some happy mail at the end of this live. So you must be on at the end of the live to qualify. So stay tuned. Let's get started. So I'm just going to use some white chalk paste. My first step is going to be to paint this vase. I'm just going to do it quick and easy. I'm not even going to remove that tag on the bottom. Just kind of dab it on and we'll let it dry. Once again, this is going to be just a quick little vase for our eggs, and I only have one. I think I might have another, but I was trying to think of things to use for a holder for these eggs, and there's so many different things that you can use. You can use the Dollar Tree candlesticks that are just kind of straight and more traditional and paint those white, or even leave them glass if you want to. I also thought of using like an egg crate insert and putting them into like a wooden box. I thought of using an egg holder. You know how you hold your Easter eggs in those egg holders, or deviled eggs, using that as well. But for one of them for sure, I'm going to use this glass jar. I'm using chalk paste because it dries so quickly, and it should be dry in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and put this aside. Now I'm also thinking that I may want to use a wooden chick from Dollar Tree just as an extra piece to decorate this scene. So I am going to, here it is here. I'm going to paint this little chickie yellow, and it's chalk paste again, chalk paint again. This one I need to open. That lid was kind of soggy. I'm just going to paint it real quick, and I also have white on my brush still, but that's okay. Paint both sides. Just a quick coverage. Make sure the edges are covered. And I may even sand this once it's dry, just to get it kind of even. So I'm just going to set this aside, maybe right here to dry. And I'm going to clean up. Wow, what a mess I made. I don't even know what I did with the lid. Okay. So these eggs that I have, they're multicolored, but they are from Michael's, and this is how they come. They just come in a craft. These are the white ones. But this is what they look like when you purchase those. I kind of took them out so I could get started and measure and see what I wanted to use as a holder. So that's why they're out of the package. But we are going to apply these little Easter mini transfers on them. Aren't they cute? You get 12 of these on this sheet, and they're small. They're perfect for little items that you might want to try small designs on. So what I'm going to do, now these may be a little harder to apply to eggs because it's a rounded surface, but I'm going to go ahead and try this Easter's on its way, this little lamb. Now these are reusable, they are sticky. You want to add some fuzz to the back of them when you first use them so they're not quite as sticky. Now my egg's going to be sitting like this, so I want to make sure that my transfer is sitting the right way. And since this is a rounded surface, we're going to kind of take a little care to start with the middle and apply it a little at a time, because as you know, these don't like to stick to rounded shapes, and you don't want to have any air bubbles where the silk screen is. So I'm really going to go slow and work these bubbles out, make sure I have it on there completely, and I'm going to go ahead and work on the lamb's ears. And if I need to, I could actually cut slits into this transfer to make it lay flatter. Let's see. That looks good. This looks good. I'm just going to kind of take it where the design is and press it out. Trying to get all the wrinkles out. And like I said, you may have to work with this a little bit to get it to work. Okay, I think I've got it on there pretty good. The bottom is a little wrinkly, but I think the way the design is, it's not gonna matter. But this is what we're gonna work with. One of the colors I'm gonna use tonight is called Academia. It's our brand new color of the month. It's kind of a tealish bluish, isn't it pretty? So you can get this, it's only available with a qualified purchase, which is $75. So if you make a qualified purchase of $75, then you're given the option to add that to your shopping cart. So it is kind of a really limited quantity, and it's not going to be available for sale anywhere but with a purchase. But I'm using Academia. I thought it's a pretty color. I want to give it a try. So I'm going to get a little bit of this chalk paste on my squeegee, and I'm just going to apply it over the transfer so that it goes over the silk screen area. This is what I've got so far. I'm going to go ahead and try to get the rest of it, and I'm going to make sure that if there's any air bubbles that I see as I'm working, I'm going to get those out. Smooth it over. Now his face has also got a little wrinkle, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of rub it a little bit, and we'll see what we come up with. Okay, so this is what it looks like right now. So let's go ahead and peel this off and see what we have. Okay, we do have a little bit of bleeding on his mouth area, and that's one of the problems with not having it down all the way. So I'm gonna let this dry. Well, maybe I should try and get it off right now. Let's see what I have. I have this little Q-tip looking thing, and what I'm going to do is put some water on my mat here. And I'm going to try and clean this up right away today. Let's see if this is going to work. It may not. Yeah, and this color is kind of staining it a little bit. So, kind of rub it off. And what I may want to do is put this back on just that one area after it's dried. Let's clean this real quick. So to clean this, all you have to do is apply regular tap water and get all that paste out of both sides of the silk screen. And make sure that the silk screen is clean so that the paste can go through a second time. And this may be a little tricky to reapply this because of the way it doesn't lay flat, but let's give it a try. I'm actually going to get a Clorox wipe here. See if that helps any better. And it is still stained, but let's try it again. Let's just try to add that on there. I'm going to try to dry off the transfer. And so with this stuff, if you make mistakes, it's usually easy to correct. Now on a rounded surface, it may not be quite as easy. I'm going to go ahead and dry this so that if I do put the transfer back on a wet area or an area that's already been chalked, it's not going to affect the area. That's good. Okay, so let's try this. I'm just gonna try to line up the mouth. Just the mouth portion. Try to get a little better. And it may work better because I'm not trying to get everything centered. So let's see. It's a little wiggly. And these transfers, these newer ones, are easier to line up because they are translucent. You can kind of see through them a little more than the other ones, our older ones. Okay, so this time I'm just going to focus on those areas that I need to rechalk. Got it down. We'll see how it works out. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, at least I have a definitive line. It's still a little color through, but it looks better. So that's one done. I'm gonna go ahead and put it right here, our little jar. That'll help it dry. I clean off this little transfer. Let's try another one on this rounded surface. So the rounded surfaces are harder to work on. Let's try something without words, maybe. Well, they all have words. Let's try this Cottontail Farms, the carrots. I'm gonna fuzz it a little bit. And we're gonna apply it to our egg. And one way we may get around it is to maybe chalk the words first. Let's see if we can do that, and then chalk the carrots. Let's learn together, guys. Have you guys had good experience doing these transfers on a, hi Tracy, on a rounded curved surface? Let's just see how this works. Thanks for watching, Tracy. How are you today? Okay, this time I'm going to use this Couture Coral. And I'm just going to use a mini squeegee, which is a squeegee. Well, it's actually a mini squeegee cut in half. It's a real small one. I'm going to do the words first, all by themselves, and see if we have better luck with that. Okay, so I'm going to lift that up, and then I'll reapply the carrots. Okay, so that does look good. That looks much better. So I'm going to go ahead and dry that so I can reapply it. So as you come on, please tell me where you're watching from and say hello. Also comment the word flowers because we're making flowers out of these eggs. And that'll give you the link to all the supplies I'm using tonight. And you can take a look at it and decide if it's something you want to do. You can add, remove, change anything in the cart. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 of these carrots and then I'll reposition for the third. Just a little tricky on this surface. Okay, I got one done. smooth it down for the second one. And then I'm going to go, and looks like I might have a bleed there. But I'm going to go ahead and reposition for the third one. And this is how we learn, guys, is by making these mistakes. So let's see. Kind of stretch it out, make sure it's down. Squeegee that on. Let's peel it off and take a look. Oh, it looks pretty good. Look, guys. That's cute. I do have a little smudge right here. That looks pretty good. And a little tiny smudge right between these two carrots. Let me see if I can get them without making a bigger mess. And then some on where my fingers were. All right, that looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm probably gonna end up gluing this on this candlestick holder. But what I wanted to show you guys, oh, let's go ahead and sand down our little chicken too. Sand down our chicken. I'm gonna dry it. How are the kids doing, Tracy? I miss them. Miss those kids. So you can tell when it's dry. This tool isn't real hot, but it does blow pretty good. And this is chalk paste and it'll dry pretty quick. You can tell that it's dry when it turns like matte. So if you see any shining, you probably need to dry it a little bit more. I'm going to dry that down, and I'm going to go ahead and clean my second transfer here with water. Oh, there's my lid to my yellow. I lose things on this table, guys. Okay. So I know I didn't mention what I used to clean this with before. I mentioned the water, and I mentioned paper towel, but you can also use what's called our board eraser. And oops, it looks like this, like a magic eraser sponge, and it's made for cleaning transfers. It makes your job a lot easier. It gets all that paste out of the silk screen, so you can reuse these between 8 and 12 times, which is a good thing. Then you let this dry sticky side up before you put it back in on your backer sheet. Let's see, what was I going to do next? I was going to clean up some of this paste. And I have a couple other eggs here, but let me see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sand down this chick just a little bit with some sanding paper, just to give it a more consistent finish. The smoother your surface is, the better your transfer is going to stick. So, and I don't think this guy was quite dry. Okay. While we're doing that, though, I want to go ahead and show you how I was going to add some flowers. I have a couple different types of flowers. I have these little lavender, and I have these flowers here. These are both from Target. And what I was going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and make a little hole with my glue gun in the top of this egg. I'm just going to go ahead and press straight down. My glue gun is hot. Ooh. I'm going to press it down and make a little hole. This is what it looks like now. And then I'm just going to add a couple florals. Let's see how long they need to be. I think I'm going to cut some off. Not a whole lot, but can always shorten them up if we need to. Always kind of one at a time, two at a time, if it doesn't work all together. Use your muscles. There's 3 cut. Let's see how the length is. Looks pretty good. Maybe these can go a little shorter. Yeah. Okay. So I'm using about 6 twigs. Okay. And then for the other one, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I am going to, well, first let's go ahead and decide what we're going to do. Well, I'll put this aside. I'm going to go ahead and make my hole in my carrot one. It's just by the heat of the glue gun tip that I'm making this hole. Just kind of melting the plastic, which shows you how hot these glue guns are. There's my hole. I'm going to get these other twigs. Oops. There's only 3 twigs to this one. Let's just do 2. Place it in here. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and glue this on here. Isn't that cute, guys? Let's see if it'll stay. It's a little crooked though. Let's see. And you could paint your candlestick if you wanted to. Let's glue this guy on. So that's this, and we're going to decorate it with a ribbon, but it looks pretty cute, doesn't it? And then we're going to add a little transfer to our little chick. We're going to add Spring Has Sprung. It's not going to quite fit. Let's see which one will fit better. Let's try this You're a Good Egg. Now this is going to be a flat surface, so it's going to be much easier to chalk. I'm going to fuzz it on my jeans. Trying to fit it on here. Okay, it barely fits. Make sure you smooth around the edges. Smooth those edges down so that you don't get any bleeding. Actually, egg isn't quite on there. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to use our Academia, our color of the month. Guys, the word for tonight is egg, flower, That will get you the link to the products I'm using tonight. If you're interested in this Color Academia, it's only available with a qualified purchase. So once you spend $75 add it to your cart, you'll get the option to purchase this. So it is very limited, but it's also very, very pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and peel it off. We'll see what it looks like. You're a good egg. Go ahead and add some water so I can clean it. Get my board eraser. My board eraser is wet. I have it sitting in water over here. I wring it out and then I let it dry, sticky side up, until I put it back on my transfer backer. So with this little chick, I think it needs a little eye. Let's see, how can I do an eye? Okay, I did an eye. Now we can do a couple things. We can just put it in a stand in front of this. We could glue it on there. Let's see what it would look like. It's kind of distracting, so let's see. Maybe we could put it on this one. Yeah, I think we'll just do that. And guys, this hot glue, if I want to reuse this candlestick for something else, I should be able to get this hot glue off and I can reuse it. This is what it looks like so far. I'm gonna let it hold there for just a second. Let it dry. Okay. And then the last thing I want to do is add some ribbon to this. Let's see what I have. Okay, these are dry, so I'm going to go ahead and add these back onto the transfer backer. I'm going to smooth them down really good so that they have contact with the backer, and that way I can reuse them again and again. I think actually this one was here. And this one was here. Okay, and then we were going to add some ribbon. Let's see. Ribbon. I had some thin ribbon. Oh, here it is. Let's add this little carrot ribbon. It's from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to cut off a snip and tie it around. Sometimes you need sharper scissors. So just a very simple little bow. And then for the other one, let's add this little pom-pom ribbon. Got this at Hobby Lobby on clearance. Same thing, just a very simple little bow. This one's going to look a little bit like a scarf. You guys, we do have a special going on also called Transfer Palooza. It's buy 4 transfers and your less expensive one is free. So if you're interested in buying transfers, this is a good time to do it. You could get, if you buy 4 large size transfers, one of those is free. If you mix your sizes, the cheapest one is free. So don't forget about the transfer special. Transfer Palooza happens twice a year. Time is now, and it's a good deal. I'm gonna go ahead and cap up my paste, and then I'm gonna show you our finished project. Here it is. Whoops, this one. Okay. What do you guys think? If you love it, give it a heart. I hope you stay tuned. Feel free to share this page with someone that you think would love it. And I'll be back on again tomorrow night. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.